Okay, we're going to continue on with parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, the previous lesson talked about what we know about parallel and perpendicular lines. To have parallel lines, we need to have the same slope and different y-intercepts. With perpendicular lines, the slopes are flipped over and opposite signs, so it's the reciprocal of each other. If one's positive, the other's negative. If the other's negative, the other's positive. Okay, so those are the things that we need to know about the slopes of parallel lines in order to do the next part of this. Okay, the directions say, write an equation of the line that is parallel to the graph of each equation and passes through the given point. Alright, so we're going to do number 1. Okay, first of all, you need to say, is it in slope-intercept form? Do we know what our slope is? So is it in y equals mx plus b form? And we say it is to this. We know that our slope is 2. Our y-intercept is 4. Okay, they also gave us more information. They gave us an order pair. This is my x value. This is my y value. Okay, so we want to find a slope that is parallel. That's what the directions say. So parallel lines have the same slope. So I'm going to make an equation where it's going to be y is equal to, I'm going to use the same slope, which is 2, x, but I need to find a different b. So b is what I do not know. So I'm going to put b for a variable. I do know that I have an x and y that I can substitute in here. So I have my y is 3. I keep my slope. My x is 1. This means 2 times 1. But I don't know my b. That's what I'm trying to discover. Then I do the math. 3 is equal to 2 times 1 is 2 plus b. Then I'm going to go and get b by itself. So subtract 2 from both sides. That is a 0. It becomes just a b on this side. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So now I have my new equation. My slope is 2, because that's the same slope as the original problem. I'm making it parallel. 2x, and it's plus 1. That is an equation of a line that is parallel to this line, because we have the same slope, different y-intercepts. Okay, next one, number 2. First of all, is this in slope-intercept form? And it's not. So at the side over here, I'm going to go ahead and put this equation in slope-intercept form. That's my first step. So I'm going to move the 3x to the other side. It's gone on this side. I have a negative 4y. I like my x in front, so I'm going to put negative 3x plus 12. Next step, I'm going to divide everything I see by negative 4, negative 4, and negative 4. So now I have y is equal to, negative and negative is positive, 3 over 4x. Negative and positive is negative 3. So this is my equation in slope-intercept form. My slope is 3 over 4. My b is negative 3. Okay, that's this. They gave me, once again, my x and my y. We're finding a parallel line, so we're going to use the same slope. So we have y is equal to 3 over 4x, but I don't know what my b is, and that's what I'm trying to find out. Okay, so now I'm going to substitute. Instead of y, I'm going to put 5. I keep my slope, the same one. My x is 4, so it's times 4 plus b. I'm going to make this a fraction by putting a 1 under it. I can now cross cancel the 4's, and I get 5 on this side. 3 times 1 is 3, plus b. Subtract 3, subtract 3, my b is equal to 2. So now I use the same slope. Y is equal to 3 over 4x plus 2. That's a line that is parallel to that line. Okay? Number 3. Same directions. We are going to find a line that's parallel. Is this first of all in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b? It is. My m is 1/2, and my b is -4. They gave me my x, they gave me my y. We're going to use the same slope, so it's y is equal to 1/2, same slope because it's parallel. I don't know what my b is. I'm going to substitute my 1 for my y. I keep my slope 1/2. I'm going to substitute my 4 for the x plus b. I'm going to make it over 1. I can now cross cancel. 2 will go into 4 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. I have my b. On the other side of the equal sign, I have a 1. Subtract 2 from both sides. My b is equal to -1. So now I'm going to go back up, write my equation. Y is equal to, using the same slope, 1/2 x minus 1. And that is a line that is parallel to this line. So I found out what my b was, which was a -1. Okay, last one like this. Do we know what our slope is? Is it in slope-intercept form? It is. My slope is -3. My b is 2. Go through, substitute your x and your y. So now I have 3 is equal to -3 times 0 plus b. Oh, I forgot to put this step in here. Sorry about that. Okay, and now I'm going to say 3 times -3 times 0 is 0 plus b. My b is equal to 3. I use the same slope. Y is equal to -3x plus 3. This line is parallel to this line. Okay, now let's move down, and now we're going to be dealing with the same process, except now we have perpendicular lines. I'm going to erase a little bit of work up here so I don't get confused. Okay, so now we have perpendicular lines, and if you remember, perpendicular lines, sorry about that. Okay, perpendicular lines have what kind of slope? They're flipped over opposite sign. So if we look at number 5, our slope here, it's in slope-intercept form, is 2. My b is 12. Okay, I'm not going to use the same slope. I'm going to use one that is perpendicular. So if this is 2 over 1, the new slope I'm going to use is 1 over 2. And if it's positive, I'm going to make this one negative. So that's my new slope. It's going to be y is equal to -1/2 x plus b. So the same process we used above. They gave us our x and our y. So my y is 6. I have -1/2 x. Oh, not x this time. We're going to substitute the 0 plus b. So 6 is equal to 1/2 times 0 is 0 plus b. So b is equal to 6. So I take that 6 and I put it into that B position. So it's going to be y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 6. That's my answer. That's a line that is perpendicular to this one because we took the slope, we flipped it over, and changed the sign, and then we solved for our B. Number 6. Number 6 is not as nice. It requires a little bit of work to get it in the slope-intercept form. So sometimes you have to do work, sometimes you don't. So we're going to take our 4x minus 3y is equal to 7. Putting it in slope-intercept form, we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. We have negative 3y. I'm going to move the negative 4x in front, plus 7. Divide by negative 3. Everything you see. So now I have y is equal to negative is positive 4 over 3. Negative and positive is negative 7 over 3. Okay, that's our equation. Okay, now we want to make a perpendicular line. So that means take the slope, which the slope is 4 over 3, and we are going to do our new slope as flipping it over, 3 over 4. If it's positive, this is negative. Okay, and our B is negative 7 over 3. Okay, so now we're going to take this information and we are going to put our new slope as negative 3 over 4 x plus b. They gave us our x and our y. So now our y is negative 2. We keep our slope that's perpendicular, negative 3 over 4. I substitute the 5 plus b. Make 5 over 1 because we're dealing with fractions. So I'm going to keep my negative 2. I'm going to multiply this across, which is negative 15. Multiply this across, which is 4 plus b. Okay, I'm having to kind of work down the space, so we're going to ignore that for right now. Now I want to get my b by itself. So my next step is I'm going to make this a fraction so I can add fractions. When we add or subtract fractions, we need to have a common denominator. I'm going to multiply the bottom by 4 and the top by 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 over 4 is equal to negative 15 over 4. We still have our plus b. Okay, we're going to add 15 over 4 to this side. We're going to add 15 over 4 to this side. So now I have a common denominator. What's 15 minus 8? 7. And we keep the denominator at 4. So my b is 7 over 4. I'm going to take that information, and it's going to go all the way and be plugged in at this point. And I'm going to go ahead in black, write my final answer. It's y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 7 over 4. And that's an equation of a line that is perpendicular to that one, because our slope is flipped over, opposite sign. The y-intercept, 7 over 4, and that's 1 is negative 7 over 3. Okay, 2 more to go. Alright, number 7. Okay, I like 7 because there's no work involved. I can identify the slope right away. My slope is negative 3. My b is 2. Okay, we're working with perpendicular lines. That means my new slope is going to be flipped over. It's going to be 1 over 3 If that's negative, this is positive. We need to find out what our b is. So now let's go ahead. We're going to substitute our new slope, which is positive 1 over 3x plus b. We've got our x and y. Our y is 4. I have my slope, which is 1 over 3 times 0 plus b. 4 is equal to 0 plus b. My 4 is equal to b. Taking that 4 and substituting it in up here. So instead of a b, it becomes a 4. So our new equation is y is equal to 1/3 x plus 4. This line is perpendicular to this one. Okay, very last one. We may want to pause it and try it on your own, then come back to it. Okay, so the first one, is it in slope-intercept form? It's not, so I'm going to get it there before I can do anything. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have y is equal to negative x plus 5. My slope is negative 1. Okay, over 1. Okay, I'm trying to find a new slope, which is going to be flipped over opposite signs. So my new slope is going to be 1 over 1, but it's going to be positive. So my new slope is 1. So now I've got y is equal to 1x plus b. We have our x and our y. Take those numbers, substitute them in. Subtract. Get b by itself. b is equal to 1. Take that 1 and substitute it right here. So we have y is equal to x plus 1. And that is the line that is perpendicular to this line. Alright, that is parallel and perpendicular lines. See how you do.